may not necessarily have to be done anymore. The ideal solution in this day and age is to have it in an EPUB format, which you can download, and as a taxpayer, you should be able to download it free. But if you wanted a tangible copy, then you get it print on demand. This eliminates a lot of cost and corruption in government. But to be able to do that, how will you pay for it so that it is not at the same time a total money drain of the government? And this is where your e-Bayad comes in. Now, again, your ability to have a portal that is functioning, relevant, and timely is that it's up and running. Whether or not there is a denial of service attack from agents or groups or localities that we will not mention, or whether there is a typhoon or whether there is an earthquake, the back end is what makes your front end keep working. And it is because of the tireless efforts of these folks, people you know very well, that we have been able to say that we have withstood everything from the times when our traffic is highest pag magkakaroon ng holiday or pag may bagyo. And during all those times, we're able to get the information out because the servers are running at peak efficiency. We're able to do it even in the face of perhaps more malicious intent, but we're able to do it. And it's based on this partnership with DOST, ASCII, and INCO. It's also about working with the National Computer Center in adopting and integrating the isa-piso functions that they've been working on in the past and bringing them forward to the portal so that it can be provided to the public. It's working with the Department of Budget and Management. Everybody's sugar daddy in government because they're the ones who pay out the cash for all of us. And it's also because the mandate has been given under the Open Government Partnership, which is a global coming together of different governments for greater transparency and accountability in government data and in services to the public. So it's because of the DBM chairing the Good Governance and Anti-Corruption Cabinet Cluster that the impetus was made to make the official gazette, gov.ph, the portal of the government under the commitments we have made with other countries such as Brazil, the United States, the UK, who are also pursuing similar undertakings in their parts of the world. It also involves working with the private sector, not as an enemy or not as someone to be envious about, but as a legitimate partner who has something to bring to the table to make it more effective. One of our partners, for example, is CD Asia. Again, lawyers are more familiar with the services of this firm, where they have been going all over the country and sometimes even abroad to source all these government documents. Now, what we are doing, again, is at no cost to either firm, so there is no money involved, but it is an exchange of information. We have laws. We have been encoding them. We have them in libraries. We have access to them. We give it to them. They have the technology to do it more efficiently than the government can, to encode, scan, proofread. And at the same time, they have already done something which we don't have, and it's a swap of data. And again, we're trying to show that this can be done without millions of pesos involved, without commissions, and with the public benefiting. The public, at the end of this process, will have the freedom of choice. You can get all the information for free from the government portal, or you can buy it on CD from them with their own proprietary search engine. It's the same idea that you can take a tollway and pay toll, or you can take the service road. Although we want to be a little more efficient and more useful than the service road as the government. It also means working with Google. For example, Google made available to us the provision of a channel for the official gazette so that we can more fully integrate video content, which is increasingly important. People don't like to read anymore. So you want to be able to watch what's happening and that sort of thing. It's also working with with other institutions as far afield as the University of Michigan in the United States, which has one of the largest collections, working with the UP Law Center, and even other branches of government. We're about to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Supreme Court and with the Senate and with the House so that we are able to present information and data together. And of course, you guys know this much more than editorial people or the people who like to talk like me do. It's all about deadlines. It's all about meeting them and having a timeline of what you want to do so that people have a reasonable expectation of what's going to happen. In this year alone, we're doing the first step, which is shifting from purely official gazette to a portal concept for the website. The next is starting to introduce the authentication features for the documents that are there. The next is introduction of the services that you will require for your forms, for your applications, for the information you need, and a timely manner to process your inquiries. They can be anything. I'll give you a sample of the kinds of inquiries we get. Someone went through customs, kinonfiscate ng customs yung peanut butter. Nadala nila. This is a legitimate question, as important as someone who wants to invest $500 million, let's say, in the Subic Free Zone. From the government point of view, you have to address both. By law, we're required to answer both within 15 days. There has to be a system, and this is what we're starting to pioneer. The next also is uniformity and conformity. It should not be your job as the citizen to try to make sense of 2,000 websites presenting data and information 2,000 different ways, with 2,000 different forms of navigation, and no universal search engine. So all of these things is what we're trying to do. We have a corporate identity guide. You should be able to spot a government website just by its look. The buttons should be clean, etc. And the editorial guidelines should apply to all. Everyone should spell the same way, not British style in one office and American style in another. No one can quite get to figure out which is the middle initial of the president. These are simple questions that are best manualized and distributed across the board. By 2013, we want these style guides, these corporate identity guides, to be familiar and applicable to all government agencies, including the ones who are managing their own websites. We want a government-wide search engine because, again, you should be able to go to any government website and access the universe of information across all of them without you having to figure out how to hop from one to another. We want the single sign-on functionality to be in place and integration with eBayan. By 2015, and this is a magical number, not just because it's the year before the president steps down, but because it also means we have a tangible output to justify all the salaries you're paying us, is that everything your government has produced in terms of laws, regulations, and information since 1901 is online. So that you can find it and you don't have to go and get allergies going to government offices and reading through old files. Now, this is your portal, this is what's happening. It is an international commitment of the Philippine government under the Open Government Partnership. This is an international commitment made by the President when he spoke in New York. So, in a sense, our face, nakataya na ang pamahalaan dito. So, there is the political will and the political support for this and what it requires. And we are not doing this just because we feel like it or according to whimsy. We are subscribing to international standards about what a portal should be